February 2026. So can you share it with your people? Don't create a scenario for the press. If I were you, I wouldn't create a scenario for these people are thugs, the press. They are now happened. They will put in the news. You be a man. What's the again? Yes, you see how they got up. I'm sorry to call you sir. Please forgive me. But I meant it in a nice way. I meant it in a nice way. Conclusion of the prosecution.
Those are stories that are making the news from Stephen retired Colonel Stephen Aine. From Stephen Aine's side, we'll head to Western region, where Jole Jacqueline Tuka Mushaba, from a vice president of the National Unity Platform, who reportedly went missing on the eve of the election. According to her family and the party officials, she was allegedly abducted by the armed operatives in the uniforms resembling those of the Uganda People's Defense Force from a hotel in Muhanga town. According to the news stories, we get the details in the matter.
Actors, the post-election season has not been about victory or defeat. It has been about freedom. Among those mentioned about includes Ewan Jolly Jacqueline Tukamushaba, the Western Region Vice President of the National Unity Platform. On January 14, 2026, just a day before Ugandans cast their ballots, Jolly Jacqueline Tukamushaba reportedly went missing. According to her family and party officials, she was allegedly abducted by armed operatives dressed in uniforms resembling those of the Uganda People's Defense Force. This incident is said to have taken place at a hotel in Muhanga town in Ruchiga district. Witnesses claimed that she was driven away in a Toyota Hiace vehicle, commonly referred to as a drone in Uganda. From that moment forward, silence has since followed. For weeks, her whereabouts were unknown. She was reportedly held in incommunicado without access to her family, lawyers, or any court appearance. Her case quickly became part of a broader conversation in Uganda's post-election environment. The role of security agencies, the treatment of opposition figures, and the boundaries between the political contestation and criminal prosecution. Now, Jolly Jacqueline is not just any opposition leader. She serves as the Vice President for Western Region within the National Unity Platform, NUP, one of the 3 regional vice presidents in the party's structure. In the aftermath of the elections, 3 NUP vice presidents representing the North, representing the Central, and in the Western region found themselves entangled in legal troubles. For supporters of the opposition, this raised serious questions about political targeting. For the state, it was a moment of enforcing the law. In Western Uganda, attention increasingly turned to Kabale. On February 6, 2026, nearly 3 weeks after her disappearance, Jolly Jacqueline Tukamushaba was presented before the Kabale Chief Magistrate's Court. She was charged with incitement to violence, contrary to Section 79, subsection 1 of the Penal Code Act of Uganda. The prosecution alleges that between December 2025 and January 2026, in the districts including Ruchiga, Kabale, and Rukunjiri, she incited members of the public to commit acts of violence against supporters of the National Resistance Movement, NRM, on account of their political opinion. These charges alone are serious. If proven in any case, they could carry significant legal consequences. However, the National Unity Platform, NUP, dismissed the accusations as politically motivated and baseless, describing them as part of a broader crackdown on opposition figures during the election season.
Welcome back from that latest story, and from that side of the political side, We head still in the political news, where President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has rallied political actors to raise above party labels and embrace principle-driven politics, saying national progress depends on shared programs and ideological rather than partisan identity. President speaking, we have the stories on the matter.
Your Excellency, my name is Judith Kukunda and I work with Uganda Radio Network. About recent regulation opinion regarding exports from Uganda. The European Union last month issued regulations where it said that they are not going to accept coffee exports when they are not from farmers who are registered, and also when those farmers have not proved that they planted that coffee from areas which were not deforested. So my question is government worried about price drops, and where does this leave coffee farmers? For instance, if they are saying that they are not going to accept coffee by 2025, because I understand that the European Union gets 60% of Uganda's coffee products. Thank you.
If the Europeans say they will not buy coffee which is grown in land encroached from the forest, I don't normally agree with the Europeans, but this time I would agree with them. I would say, kakata abazungu nabo bagode kyamagezi. Because they don't normally tebakwata bigodoro. But in this case, if they say, kubanga baba banyambye nti abalonda ebibira emwanyiza mwe titugenda kuzugula omuzungu ngenda kumwebaza nti okoze ekyamagezi. Because why do people go to the forest? Twabagamba dda forest, wetlands, zino zemugamba. Why? I would agree with the Europeans this time. I would agree with them, because it is really criminal to go in the wetlands. We don't cucumber what I know, because you see, the country is moving all the same, in spite of those indisciplines. But the country is moving, more factories, more this, more that. But abantu abo abatawuliriza, we shall of course deal with them at the right time. We shall deal with them. But why not listen? Because when we came from the bush, they had encroached on the whole of Mabera. I chased them. That Mabera had disappeared. When I chased them, it has come back now, Mabera forest. Kubanga mimi yabagamba nti mugende mu kibala kyekirimu omugaso. But I ordered them back, and the forest came back. So even these forests will come back. It is because we are busy, like now we are handling some issues, and then these ones divert us here, but we shall, they will leave. So if the Mazulu had put that pressure, that's so good, I like it.
We'll come back from that side of the political ammunitions, and from the political ammunitions we return to the health sector, where St. Ambrose Charity Health Center 4 in Kagadi district has been elevated to a general hospital to serve the wider population of over 50,000 patients in the 8 districts of Bunyoro sub-region. According to Dr. Henley Muhumuza, the administrator of St. Ambrose Charity Health Center, the 23-year-old Health Center 4 has been upgraded according to the stories that we got in Kagadi district. We have them.
Other part of Uganda, in the name of peace, unity, and development. That is all our goals. The people have realized the importance of working for and with government. Your Excellency, this is an issue that we realize we cannot work without support from government. So we have to work with and for government. And I want to repeat that we are ready to ensure that those who are not for development, we are not going to deal with them as Lango.
Your Excellency, I fully associate with the memo that has been presented here because it represents our voices as the people of Lango. However, I'd like to say a few things. At the very beginning, there was need for two separate teams, and that was part of the strategy. And I want to thank my brother, General Keith Katunji. You see, many of us who used to fight you very strongly, and I will confess that I'm one of those who did that faithfully, in support of Dr. Besigye. We never really wanted to have any relationship with people in the caliber of General Katunji, or even with NRM leaders, and I'm happy that today we are seated here. They know what I'm talking about.
Your Excellency, you have always emphasized about three things: unity for the people of Uganda, and that we should support the right thing and oppose the wrong things, and the NRM revolutionary method of work emphasized by my brother Chris Ongom. We want to thank this team.
Welcome back from that story side of the health sector. And from the health sector, we go direct to education sector, where more than 100 students at Makerere University Business School, MUBS, are taking bold steps toward entrepreneurship during Impact Week 2026. The fourth day ideation boot camp, organized in partnership with Thomas More Universities of Applied Science, is designed to help students turn business ideas into practical. As we take the stories on the matter. Welcome back from that latest story. Now we head to the State Minister for Works, Musa Echeru, has assured all road users in West Nile that bridges and roads that are under construction will soon be motorable. Echeru made these remarks while inspecting the progress of construction in various districts of West Nile. We take the details on the matter.
They will start doing what they call backfilling.
The project is being funded by the government of Uganda, hence Minister Echeru's call on road users to continue temporary diversion as the bridge is being worked upon.
Because of the technical work involved, it may appear slow, but you cannot tell concrete to set because you want to pass there. Concrete must have to take its normal time.
Afterwards, the minister inspected Nwaya Pakwach Highway that is being worked on by the Chinese company. Minister Cheru clarified on the public concerns about delayed completion of the road.
It is late by many, almost a year, but we are on course now. Just a few critical areas have been addressed by the little resource that was raised, but we continue to mobilize so that all the other places will also be addressed.
At Tangi Bridge that separated West Nile and Lango, the minister commended the work and urged road users to remain patient as the construction works continue.
The people of West Nile, I know, have run out of their patience. They think we have talked so much about this place. But my request, my appeal to my people in West Nile is that continue to hold on your patience and know that work has started, government has started doing this now.
He also confirmed the replacement of the new modern bridge that separates West Nile and Acholi regions, as the current one has reached its lifespan.
It's not true that we are removing the old bridge and just going to use ferries in West Nile in this particular Pakwach area. There's going to be another bridge, a modern one, compared to this one. This one has served, and we thank the British for giving it to us.
Principal Engineer Daniga from the ministry says they have set deep ferry landing sites in case of bridge failures.
Right now the contractor is actively monitoring, and we've also set up ferry landing sites as emergencies in case of any failures for the bridge.
The inspection proceeded to the Koboko Yumbe Moyo Road that is funded by the World Bank, where the ministry urged contractors to respect the agreed guideline on environmental protection. Echero adds that once the road is complete, it will enhance trade between Uganda and neighboring countries.
So we need a road here that can, apart from moving people to people, it will do trade, but it can also facilitate law enforcement. It's not preparing for war, but law enforcement. So that is what this road is critical about.
Some local leaders commended the government for the project and highlighted other issues that need to be addressed.
Only enjoy this road if the barrier in form of ferry in Laropi is worked on.
With those stories makes the end of the local news here in our country, and we go for a commercial break. Then from the commercial break, we return back with the international news. Stay tuned on your radio. Yo.
It's always a better choice. It's always a better choice. Your songs on your radio. My one and only station. Love your radio. Love your music. This is the best thing on your radio. My one and only.
Muzayiroziyo ebyenfuna engeri gye bitabuseemu ensangi zino si kirungi kuwulwa ssente obulwe n'emmere mu maka ng'endamba misango kwegulira kawunga.
Misango biba luwaabo era basangibwawa.
Misango Grain Millers basangibwa Bukoto Kisaasi Road opposite St. Peter's Church. Bano be balina akawunga ak'omulembe akateekebwateekebwa abakugu eri omukulu omuto n'omukadde ate nga kalimu n'ekirungo ekyongera amaanyi mu mubiri gwo. Kano kali mu bipimo byonna bye walyetaaze. Ow'essomero omusuubuzi nawe kamukamu bakwaniriza. Ate nawe omulunzi w'enkoko ekibuuzo kyo n'essaala zo baabyanukudde anti bakolera emmere y'enkoko ey'omulembe. Enkoko zo ne zikula mu wiiki 2 abaguzi ne batandika okwetala. Ate nga woogula mu bungi ebyentambula baabitereeza anti ebintu bwe bakutambuliza paka mu luggya lwo. Gwabeetaaze bakubire ku ssimu 7722 oba 7722 Misango Grain Millers bibanatamegwa mu mmere y'enkoko kw'ossa n'akawunga ak'omulembe. Beekwate tojja kwejjusa.
Emirimu giganye obwongo bwesibye byokola tebitambula nandiki buli kyokwatako omukono tekigenda mu maaso. Ekikuddamu kikino Disciples Fellowship Ministries esangibwa e Bukoto ekulemberwa Bishop Tom Kategere bakwaniza mu kusaba kwa Sunday kuva saa 3 ez'okumakya okutuusa essaawa 8 ez'amalya g'ebyemisana mu kusinza, mu kutendereza, mu kusabirwa, mu kuwulira ekigambo ekizzaawo emmeeme eyo. Jangu osabe naffe Mukama yanukula essaala zo. Tusangibwa Bukoto ku Northern Bypass ku Kitaka Stage okumpi ne kamera. Disciples Fellowship Ministries ebyalema webiramukira.
Welcome back from the commercial break, and here we go direct to international news and the international news that are making stories. In US, President Donald Trump has said that he will impose global tariffs of 15% as he continues to rally against a Supreme Court ruling that struck down his previous import taxes. Trump said on Friday that he will replace the tariffs scrapped by the court with a 10% levies on all goods coming into the US. Let's head to the US.
His flagship global tariff policy was illegal, the court saying that he'd overstepped his presidential powers. Let's have a look at that post on Truth Social there. Now, the president was in the West Wing yesterday after the court made that decision, and he said that he was going to implement a 10% global tariff. Now, that would only be valid for 150 days, so take us through to the summer, but he's now said that he wants that to increase to the level of 15%. Says during the next short number of months, the Trump administration will determine and issue the new and legally permissible tariffs. He says the administration will continue what he describes as an extraordinarily successful process of making America great again. Of course, this decision, we will be, of course, watching what this means and the reaction, but it's another bombshell, really, just a day after the Supreme Court ruled that his decision was illegal. So we'll be looking to see what comes next. But this is another post that we saw from the president on Truth Social there. Talking about the decision from the Supreme Court, it was a 6-3 decision, so some Republican justices didn't vote in favour of the president's tariff policy. But speaking on social media, the president praised those 3 justices who went in his favour. He said, "My new hero is the US Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, and of course Justices Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito." He then went on to say there's no doubt in anyone's mind that they want to make America great again. So quite a lot of business on Truth Social this afternoon from the president in reaction to the tariff rate. But I think we'll be trying to dissect and work out what that increase to a blanket 15%.
From the US, I take you direct to Colombia, where a Navy patrol moves along northern Sino River to assist communities recovering from historical floods. In Las Palomas, waters have receded but eroded embankments and intimate surges keep residents on alert as security forces and civil defense join volunteers to shore up riverbanks with sandbags. We have the latest story on the matter.
An intermittent rising water keep people here on alert. As we arrive, they're filling sandbags.
So far, the river is going down, thank God. We're taking advantage of it to carry out work today. Yesterday, there were concerns again after videos circulated showing the river rising again. There was no bad intention, but people are understandably anxious and waiting for the breach to be repaired.
Police, the Navy, soldiers, and civil defense teams arrived to join local volunteers, hoping to rebuild the riverbank before the next surge.
From here you can see how close the water still sits to homes and farmlands. Just a little surge can break through the eroded banks. Authorities say that the emergency phase might be shifting, but the risk remains.
Upstream, where the riverbank gave way, those displaced by the floods are building a new barrier. Their families are still in shelters.
We're doing this because it affects us and because many people need help. We started early this morning and we've made some progress. We'll keep working little by little, but steadily. The idea is to finish it, however long it takes, because we don't know what could happen.
Irma Lopez has not been able to re-enter her flooded house. Her fish farm and crops are gone.
We have to wait for everything to dry. Once it dries, we can start stocking fish again, the first batch of kachama, and that takes 4 months. It will take 2 months just to dry out, that's 6 months total. And what do we do during these 6 months? My husband and I depend on our fish farm. Our children depend on it too.
Recovery will be long and uncertain, but for now, families are working to protect what little they have left, hoping the river will hold. Alessandro Ampietti, Al Jazeera, Monteria, Colombia.
Don't miss out and get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.
Those are stories making the headlines and the details in Colombia. From Colombia, we go direct to Geneva. Following talks in Geneva on Iran's nuclear programs, Foreign Minister Basarakchi said progress had been made and that Tehran would soon present a proposal to the United States, reviving hopes of diplomacy. Yet, ties remain balanced between escalation and negotiation, with both sides signaling readiness for force while stressing dialogue. We have the details on the story.
Are at a crossroads once again. Following the talks in Geneva over Iran's nuclear program, Iranian Foreign Minister Basarakchi came out to say that progress has been made and that Tehran is going to soon offer a proposal to the United States. It revives hopes that diplomacy may offer a way out of this standoff. But rather than becoming too optimistic or too pessimistic, we have to be realistic and see the complexities on the ground, specifically when it comes to the ties between Iran and the United States. While both countries signal readiness for possible military action, they also publicly emphasize diplomacy. Relations now sit in a fragile space between escalation and negotiation, a tension felt not only in official statements, but among ordinary people here in Iran.
If they were going to reach an agreement, they've had 47 years to do so. In my opinion, no real agreement will happen, and even if it does, it will be superficial. And how can anyone not worry about war? It's impossible not to worry, because even if we don't worry about ourselves, we worry about our children's future.
I doubt they'll reach a deal. I think negotiations won't succeed anymore, and that war is inevitable. Because what the Americans want is surrender, and the Iranian state won't accept that. If war happens, conditions will become even harder. Businesses are already slow.
The US knows it can't overpower Iran, not its people, not its military, and not its diplomacy. It's the one that asked for negotiations, and the things Trump says are all theatrical. The US hasn't truly won a war in any country, say Afghanistan, Iraq, or Vietnam. In the end, it will bow to Iran. People shouldn't worry.
In my opinion, war will happen. It's unavoidable. Trump didn't bring his naval forces to the Persian Gulf for no reason. Even when Trump donates money to charity, he still counts every dollar. He wouldn't spend on this equipment for nothing.
When we speak to people, it's a mixture of different sentiments highlighted by frustration over a possibility of confrontation down the road.
That is the side for Geneva and nuclear power plants. We head direct to Sudan, where a UN fact-finding mission has determined that evidence of atrocities carried out during the siege and the takeover of the Sudanese city of Al Fasher points to genocide. The paramilitary Rapid Support Forces (RSF) captured Al Fasher, located in the western region of Darfur, at the end of October after the 18th month blocked. We have the details on the story.
I speak to Africa correspondent Barbara Plett-Usher. And Barbara, some stark findings in the report. Tell us more about the details that are in there.
Yes, well, the report found that the atrocities committed in Al Fasher were not random excesses of war, but they were carried out with a widespread and systematic pattern that was committed according to a plan or policy with knowledge and intent. So they said that there was the evidence pointed to several hallmarks of genocide, which effectively amounted to deliberate efforts to destroy a targeted population, an ethnic group, by these methods of sexual violence, mass killing, starvation, and so on. And it said that intent is a very important part of the definition of the crime of genocide, and that they had inferred from the actions and how systematic they were and from the evidence they were able to put together that was the intent. They mentioned that the targeted ethnic groups in particular were the Zaghawa and the Fur tribes. Now, these are indigenous African tribes in Darfur, especially in the Al Fashar area, and the armed groups that were resisting the RSF attack on Al Fashar were largely from the Zaghawa tribe. And so it seems the evidence is pretty clear, actually, that the RSF did not distinguish between the civilians and the armed members of that tribe that they had been fighting. And the conflict is actually, the ethnic part of it is rooted in previous conflicts that have taken place in Darfur between the largely Arab militias that form the backbone of the RSF and the non-Arab constituencies.
And Barbara, is there any prospect, as a result of this report, of any further action from the international community or further help? Tell us where it goes next.
Yeah, it's a good question because we've had all these atrocities reported for some time and there hasn't been any action on the ground really that we have seen. This is going to be presented to the UN in Geneva, the UN Human Rights Council, up for debate. Also, the British Foreign Secretary is addressing the UN Security Council today. She will mention this and really push for accountability. That was part of the mandate of this UN investigative mission. Name the perpetrators as much as you can so they can be held accountable. There are a few names in the report, not many, it has to be said, including the name of the RSF leader, saying that he and others celebrated the fall of Al Fashar as an achievement and called the fighters heroic, that he had actually admitted that some violations took place, that there were investigations undergoing, but had not responded to any questions from the group, from the investigators as to where things were at with that. The RSF has always denied any allegations of.
Welcome back from that side of Sudan, and still in international news as we come to the end of our international. We have reports and claims in the United States that has deployed special forces to Nigeria as part of a high-risk security mission. Is this a counter-terrorism operation, military cooperation, or strategic move in the Sahel region? We have the video that is making the news on the matter.
Thank you very much for stopping. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I know. I like you too. And I look like your cousin. What do you call it, dude? Some people say I look like who? Please tell me in the comment section. They say I look like an American musician or something like that. Was he a musician or an actor? Or whatever. Anyway, I think it's a way for you to just understand in Nigeria. Well, some of them have arrived, some are still arriving. I know this is crazy because a couple of months ago, Nigeria was very against that, okay?
Nigeria's constitutional commitment to religious freedom and rule of law. All the answers are in there. And this is what guides us. And this is what shows that it's impossible for there to be a religious persecution that can be supported in any way, shape, or form by the government of Nigeria at any level, be it federal, be it regional, be it local.
You need to open your ears and eyes. Okay, I know there's a lot of noise here, but let's stay focused. Nigerian authorities have confirmed that the U.S. troops have arrived in the country after a request from Nigerian government to the USA joint community. Why has Nigeria done this? Nigeria has asked the U.S. to send troops so they can help Nigerian military. Number 2, so they can repair military equipment. Number 3, so they can give advice in different areas.
We're charting the roadmap to deeper cooperation. From the Department of War perspective, it's counterterrorism related. So how can we enable our Nigerian partners to be more effective? And it's the whole gamut of intel sharing, sharing TTPs, tactics, techniques, and procedures, as well as enabling them to procure more equipment, the right equipment that will be the most effective against ISIS and other.
Still, the news in international news, we have more related stories in Nigeria. And Nigeria takes part in the chaotic ways, but here, at least 50 people were killed and a significant number of others abducted after a group of armed men launched a brutal attack on a village in Nigeria's northwestern state of Zamfara, a local lawmaker said. We have the details on the story.
Continues in Nigeria, and in the latest, a group of armed men struck a village in the country's northwestern state of Zamfara, killing at least 50 people while kidnapping several women and children. Local officials say that the attackers raided the village of Tungantutse at around 5 p.m. local time on Thursday. They added that the armed faction burned buildings and shot residents until the wee hours of Friday morning. Reports suggest that the several government officials and local leaders have also been abducted. Zafara police said that the remote village has few access routes, while adding that normalcy has been restored in the area for now. A day prior to the attack, local residents reached out to security forces after spotting 150 motorcycles carrying armed men.
What happened is that we were seated. Then we saw them overrun our town. They cordoned us off and set our houses ablaze. As you came out, they shot at you.
The people that died, there are about 32 which we can recognize, and there are ones that we cannot identify. They are people that have been burned. The loss is too much. May Almighty have mercy upon us.
Zafara continues to be plagued by armed bandits, and as they continue to loot villages, kidnap residents, and spread jihadist threats. The latest attack comes a day after the jihadist group struck 7 villages in the neighboring state of Kebbi. According to police, dozens of people have been killed in the attacks.
Dear listeners, thank you for being our listeners of the best of Radio Yo, and I've been Wandela Brain. For the 11 o'clock news, we wish you the best. May God bless you. Stay tuned for the next programs. Remember to tune on every Monday and Tuesday, same time at 11 to midday. Thank you for being good listeners. I remain Brian.